Hey again, it's me, Marcus. I review stuff. Today I'm reviewing the song 16 by Highly Suspect off their upcoming album in November, MCID. I've already reviewed the song Upper Drugs off the same album. Thought it was, pretty good. So kind of excited to see how this one's going to sound, if it's going to be something a little bit different or kind of par for the course. See if they're going to stick with their sex, drugs, rock and roll, and depression vibe they got really going on here. So as always, if you want to request songs, you just hit me up in the comments, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep plugging along with what I feel like listening to. So without further ado, here we go. Let's listen to 16 by Highly Suspect.
It took me 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you, 7 years to hold you, 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, where did I go wrong? Oh God, do you remember all of the nasty shit you used to do with me? 'Cause I remember everything. And do you remember we hopped the B&B to NYC? You were only 17, but that puppy love is over. We're so much older. Nothing's ever gonna feel the same way that it did when we were younger. I wish that I could hold you, baby. I know it's over. We're never gonna feel it again. Yeah, it took me 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you, 7 years to hold you, 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, yeah. Where did I go wrong? Yeah. Do you remember, when I was your king and you were my queen? Yeah. 'Cause I remember everything. Do you remember when you told me you were holding my future kid? Yeah. And all the joy that that would bring. Well, I thought I was the father, but baby is not my daughter. 'Cause baby's a different color, and baby I'm not a brother. It was just too much to swallow. You ripped my heart out, but that puppy love is over. We're so much older. Nothing's ever gonna feel the same way that it did when we were younger. I wish I could hold you, but baby I know that it's over. I'm never gonna feel it again. Well, it took me 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you, 7 years to hold you, and just 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, yeah. Where did I go wrong? Yeah. Like where did you go? And I'll say I'm sorry if I ever see you again. Oh, 'cause on that day I walked away when you probably needed a friend. It took me 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you. I don't trust you, but I still love you. Oh God, where did I go wrong? Where did you go? Where did I go wrong? Baby, it took me 16 years to find you, but only a second to love you, 7 years to hold you, and just 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, yeah. Where did I go wrong? Yeah. Where did you go? Yeah.
Okay, so it's a lot to unpack there. I got a lot to say, so I'm gonna start with my 3 categories that I always start with. So let's start with lyrics. Lyrically, I thought it was very interesting. You saw there were parts where I was like, "Yo, shit!" Like, oh my god. I will say, like, I thought I had it figured out from the start. I was like, "Oh, this is a song about love lost," and it is. It very much is, but kind of true to Highly Suspect style. It wasn't just your straightforward loss of love type of song. It was like. That's what I was like, holy shit, in the middle. So let's break it down and see what I'm talking about. So we start with the chorus. It took me 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you, 7 years to hold you, 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, where did I go wrong? So immediately I was like, okay, love lost song. And I thought it was pretty interesting. So I'm assuming he was 16 when he met her, and it said she was only 17. So I'm hoping that means that they were around the same age when they met. And then it said, oh God. And then the first verse made me laugh just because it was like, do you remember all the nasty shit you used to do with me? Because I remember everything. And do you remember when we hopped the P&B to NYC? You were only 17. So I'm guessing he was 16, she was 17. They were fucking around, right? Doing some nasty shit apparently. I don't know what the P&B is, but I assume it's like a subway that takes you to New York City. Sure, maybe, why not? And then going back to the chorus, 1 second to love you. Love at first sight type of thing, right? So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's young kids falling in love quickly. You have that quick passion, stupidity, whatever you want to call it when you're kids, right? So, and then we get to the pre-chorus. But that puppy love is over. We're so much older. Nothing's ever gonna feel the same way that it did when we were younger. I wish that I could hold you. Baby, I know it's over. We're never gonna feel it again. So they met when they were young, super passionate, stupid. After a few years, it was like, all right, well, now we're older, and that puppy love stage is gone. We don't feel the same way about each other anymore. And so then we go back into the chorus, 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you, 7 years to hold you. That one makes me wonder because... maybe it was like they were doing freaky shit for a while, but they didn't really find that like intimate embrace until 7 years in. I don't know. I'm interested to see what that particular lyric is about. And then of course, 1 minute to lose. 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, where did I go wrong? Verse 2, and this is the part that really threw me for a loop. I was like, okay, it's just a song about love lost, right? Growing apart from each other. And I was like, oh shit, there's some other shit going on here. So, do you remember, when I was your king and you were my queen? Yeah, because I remember everything. Do you remember when you told me you were holding my future kids? I was like, all right, we're complicating things a little bit. And all the joy that would bring. Well, I thought I was the father, but baby, it's not my daughter. And I was like, yo, all right? But baby's a different color, and baby, I'm not a brother. It was just too much to swallow. You ripped my heart out. Like, the writing there is pretty interesting. Again, I wouldn't call it like poetic. I wouldn't call it even intricate or complex, but it's clever. It's like it really threw me for a loop, and you can see my reaction if you go back to that part of the song. I was just like, yo, I was not expecting that. It was straight up just like, I just thought it was a typical story of teenage love lost, right? No, totally threw me for a loop there. But I think the important thing here is, even though she obviously went off and cheated on him, I think he also sort of takes that responsibility back on himself. Here he says, so it goes back to the pre-chorus, but that puppy love is over. We're so much older. Nothing's ever going to feel the same way that it did when we were younger. I wish I could hold you, but baby, I know that it's over. We're never going to feel it again. Took me 16 back into the chorus. Now here's the bridge. And I'll say I'm sorry if I ever see you again, because on that day I'll walk away when you probably needed a friend. So, well, actually, I guess I heard that wrong the first time. So you're saying, like, if we ever see each other again, I got to apologize in advance because I'm just walking away. I'm not dealing with that, right? And so he says, but if we ever do see each other again, it's probably because you need a friend. So, but I'm not having it, And then it goes back into kind of the chorus. It took me 16 years to find you, 1 second to love you. But then he switches it up a little bit. I don't trust you, but I still love you. And, that makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to let go. oh God, where did I go wrong? Where did you go? Where did I go wrong? So even though, again, she went off and cheated on him, he's sort of putting it back on himself, like, what did I do to make you want to go do that, you know, which is a response that many people have to situations like that. Goes back into the chorus, and he changes it up just a little bit here. Baby, it took me 16 years to find you, but only a second to love you, 7 years to hold you, and just 1 minute to lose you. Oh God, where did I go wrong? Where did you go? Where did we go wrong? Said, where did we go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Oh yeah. So, pretty interesting lyrically there, and again, they're not a band that's going to give you sort of, I guess, like really complex or intricate lyrics, but what they do write is really clever and sort of catchy. I can really see that chorus being something popular coming up here, you know, in the coming months or weeks or whatever, or even when the album drops. If it hasn't already, I mean, I don't really know how they fare as far as like singles and radio time goes and all that stuff, but lyrically, I give it, you know, 2 thumbs up. I think what really does it for me is that they kind of threw me for a loop, like I said. You know, I was like, oh, this is just like a poppy song about love lost, and then no, they were like, okay, there's a little bit more going on here, you know. And whereas I think some bands would shy away from kind of the more upsetting subject matter, I think they're like, oh, let's slap it on them, let's do it. So lyrically, I like the chances. I give it 2 thumbs up. Instrumentally, I think it works really well. I like instrumentally / vocally. His voice always sounds good. I don't actually know the name of the singer, but his voice always sounds good. I like that. I like the choir that they kind of brought in here. It seems to be a popular thing in music right now to have a song with a choir in the background. But I think it worked. I think it kind of gave it sort of this certain feel to it. I can't quite describe. Maybe I don't want to say epic because it wasn't like an epic feel, but it was sort of just like a more personal love lost type of feel to it, I guess. And so I kind of like that touch to it. The instrumentalism was fine. I don't recall hearing a guitar solo or anything sort of like that. I think it was a more nuanced approach that you would sort of hear in a typical love lost type of song. With that being said, I think instrumentally this was a lot more poppy than what they usually make. I think what they usually make is typically more of like the modern / classic rock sound. You know, it's firmly in the vein of rock and roll, I would say, is what they usually make. Whereas I feel like this is more on the pop side. So your instrumentals are more sort of a poppy. Doesn't really have anything to really stand out and draw your attention away from the story or from the lyrics, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It works for this song, but I did like it. The beat was really catchy. I was kind of getting to the rhythm. So what they did instrumentally, it gets a thumbs up for me. I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it worked for the song that was at hand. Lastly, listenability, I think, is very strong here. Like I said, this is more of a pop song, really, to me, than it is a rock song. And that works for a lot of people. I can see this. I don't know when this song came out, but I'd be interested to see how well it did, because I feel like average listeners could kind of get into this song. I think it's really catchy. I think the story is pretty interesting lyrically. So I think listenability gets 2 thumbs up. I think the average pop or rock listener would enjoy a song like this. I mean, I could totally be wrong, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. Is it going to be something that I listen to every day, or, you know, not really? I'll probably listen to it every now and then. It's going to make my playlist. I can tell you that much right now. It's going to make my playlist. But it's definitely not something, I think, because it's more on the poppy side, it's not necessarily something that I want to really listen to just all the time. I really appreciate their more rock and roll style songs from this band. So, you know, I still think many people can enjoy it. So 2 thumbs up. Overall, I think this song is really good. From the 2 songs that I've heard off this album, I'm really interested to see how the rest of the album fares here in November when it comes out. So really looking forward to that. You'll see an album review on that, I'm sure. But for now, I'm Marcus. I just reviewed some stuff. Oh, and before I sign off, if you want to support the artist, if you like the music, go listen to it on their official channels or their official pages, whatever. You want to support me, like, subscribe, whatever, you know, all the stuff that you do. But yeah, see ya. Bye.